This conference will now be recorded.
So I'll record this so you can have it as a guide. As an example of double entry accounting, suppose you bought an auto paying cash of $10,000. You got an auto, you debit auto, and then you credit cash. Okay? So this is what you got in value, you debit. This is what you gave up, you credit. If you bought it on a note, you still debit auto, but you credit note payable. Because you got the auto, that's what you got in value. You gave up a note that you're going to have to pay. And if you paid $2,000 down and signed a note for the balance, you would debit auto and you credit cash and you credit notes payable. So each time we debited auto, but we reflected how we bought the auto. Did we pay cash? Did we sign a note? Or was it a combination of the two? Does everyone see that those journal entries and how they're working? And notice that when we have more than two accounts in a journal entry on one side, the debits always have to equal the credits. Okay? The debits have to equal the credits. Then, you know, you should have, gone through the accounting cycle in Principles 1. There are about 9 steps. You analyze transactions and you make journal entries. Then you post those journal entries to the ledger and you prepare a trial balance. You make adjusting interest and get a trial balance. And then with that trial balance, you prepare the financial statements. You close the accounts and you post the closing. You do a post-closing trial balance. And so the key steps are sort of 1 through 8. And we just make adjusting interest and get that trial balance. And so that's what we want to try to look at, see if we can go through the 8 steps basically with just 5 journal entries. Because if you're having trouble with journal entry, we don't need to look at 100, because the key thing is looking at these steps. And like I say, unfortunately, managerial accounting assumes that you know how to do this. And so I stopped making that assumption uh, as I began to teach, because it wasn't valid. And if you just start teaching managerial accounting and you put it on top of this and people don't know this, it's difficult. So, and that's why we do this review. Let's look at this first 2 steps: analyze transaction and make journal entries. So that's what we want to do and get those down. Okay. So the way I taught accounting and in making journal entries, I said there were 6 situations where cash came into the business. If cash came into the business, you debited cash and you credited something. If you issued common stock, you credited common stock. If it was cash revenue, you credited the revenue. If it's a collection of a receivable, you credit the receivable. If you borrowed money, you credit the note. But anytime cash came in a business, you debited cash. Are we clear on that? So we had 6 situations. Then we have the situation where if we paid cash out, and there were 11 situations, whenever you paid cash out, you credited cash. If you purchased an asset, you had to say what type of asset it was, but you credited cash. If you paid a liability, you had to credit cash. If you paid an expense, you still credited cash. You had to say what the expense was. And if you paid a dividend, you had to credit cash also. Dividends represent the payment to the stockholders. So if you own stock in a company, the way you are paid is through a dividend. You can't get your money back. The company can declare a dividend. And there are a couple of other situations. Then there are a couple of others that are important. Sometimes we purchase an asset using debt. So we can't credit cash, but we're going to debit the asset paid, purchase, and then credit the liability created. Then another one was a sale on account. If we make a sale and we don't get the cash right away, we debit a receivable and credit sales, and that's a good situation. That's a good situation because we have money coming in. And so there are about 20 or so, 21 journal entry types we have. And these journal entry types should be in Blackboard and course content, correct? Is this information in Blackboard?
Yes, I will look now.
And so it's probably going to be a good idea for you to make a copy of it. The next thing I put in Blackboard so you can make journal entries was a chart of accounts. These are the actual accounts that are used in the journal entries. So you always got to pick an account with a number. It's not expense paid. You got to say which expense was paid. And if you buy an asset, you got to say which one. So you always got to have an account with a number. Okay, you always have to have an account with a number. Typically, whenever there's a sale, sales is credited. Okay, sales is always credited. Expenses are typically always debited. So when you're making a journal entry, you got an expense in it, you're going to debit it. So that should help you in making journal entries. The revenue is credited, the expenses are debited. Then let's go back to cash. When cash comes in, you debit cash. When cash goes out, you credit cash. NB says what the normal balance of an account should be. You can have debits and credits to cash, but that normal balance should be a debit. And that's true of all of the assets. They're typically debits, except you have some contra accounts. We don't worry about those with credit. But typically, the balance in that account is a debit. Liabilities, their balance is going to be a credit. Common stock is going to be a credit. Retained earnings, if the business is doing well, is going to be a credit. And the reason it works that way, you remember that accounting equation, assets, the debits of assets equal the credits of liabilities and stockholders' equity. So that's why these have those balances. Revenues always going to have a credit balance. Expenses are always going to have a debit balance in the T account. So if that doesn't exist, then you know you have an issue somewhere. Are there any questions on that?
You said expenses are always going to have a debit.
Debit balance. They're always going to have a debit balance. Okay. So what we're going to do next, we're going to work this simple problem here of 10 journal entry types. I think we need to do that. I think we need to do that. Okay. So who are my continuing students now? Tasha's one. Wallace is one. Pursley, you continuing? He's not speaking more. Sierra is one.
Yeah.
All right, Pursley is one. So how many people do we have here today? We have
I'm one.
Jacobs is one. Okay.
So that
I
assignment,
want to as well.
Melanie Mays.
on Blackboard that was due today at 4 was only for continuing students.
Only for continuing students. Only for continuing students. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's see. What I want to do is to create some teams, I guess, based on the people who are here. And what we're going to do is, we do a lot of teamwork, but we're having the team somebody, uh, you know, that's returning student. A couple of those and a couple of new students where we can. And that way, as we're doing the work, it's going to be a team effort. Uh, so let's see. I'll get to those. I'll finish those up in a few minutes on the team. What team you want to be on, Townsend?
Um,
Well, right
no.
now, Sierra, you'll have team 1, okay?
All right.
Personally, team 2, Latasha, team 3, and Wallace, team 4. So those are the 4 teams, okay? And then we have Jacobs and Mays, which I will put on those teams, and then I'll spread the others out. So we'll do that as we go through. But right now, we're going to start making these journal entries here on this here because, since we have so many people who need help with the journal entries, I don't want to just be running through and we have a problem. So let's see if we can begin making these journal entries. And what I got to do is go in here. Uh, so we're going to start on this first journal entry, okay? Come on in here. Let me see if I put a 1 in here. See if it was centering. Boy, it is acting up today. And go down a line. Okay, let's go to this first journal entry. And the first thing that you do when you make a journal entry is to say the type of journal entry it is. Okay? So we on number 1. We have the company invested $10,000, so we got $10,000 coming in. So when we go to these journal entries, we got to have something 1 through 6 because cash is coming in. So out of 1 through 6, which one do you think that is?
One, type one.
Type 1. So when we have a type 1, what does it tell us to debit?
Debit the cash.
Cash.
What does it tell us to credit?
Common stock.
So you see how the chart is telling us what the debit and credit. Now we got to go in here and get some exact account numbers now. And what's the account number for cash?
100.
100.
Common stock?
400.
400. And so now as we make this journal entry, we're going to say our type is a type 1. In a type 1, we debit cash. And we crediting common stock. And the amount is going to be 10,000. That's a journal entry. We determined the type. Then we did the debit and credit. That's journal entry. You see that, Townsend?
Yes, you are explaining this way better than my old school.
Oh, well, the reason I wrote the primer is because, the texts have a standard way of doing the counting, and they just say make the journal entries, but they never frame it in terms of cash coming in and going out, and they don't frame it around the chart of accounts. And so if this is all you saw and you were told to make the journal entries, that's where sometimes the texts leave a lot to desire. Let's go to the second one, cash received for car loan revenue. Cash is coming in, so we got to go back up here to cash. Did I get too far? Yeah. Cash coming in. Is it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6?
2.
That's a
It'll be a
2
2.
because cash is coming in through sales. So we're going to debit cash and credit sales. We know cash is 100. Sales is 500. So we're going to, in this journal entry, debit cash again, 100. And we're going to credit now common stock. Sales.
Sales.
Right, sales. So we get it over a little bit.
The notes that you provided us will help a lot.
Yeah, they should. And for the journal entry types and everything, as well as the chart of accounts, go ahead and make those hard copy. We said this was type 2. So go ahead and make a hard copy of those. Collection of cash from corporate customers. This means that we did some work and we're getting paid later. But we getting cash, so we know right away what type does it have to be?
Would that be a type
100.
3?
No, I mean what's the journal entry type?
Type
Oh, the
2?
journal.
That'd be a type
Type
3.
2.
Read, we collecting cash.
Okay.
So what do we debit?
Cash.
Cash.
What do we credit?
Accounts receivable.
Okay, so see how easy that is? So you read the transaction and you get the type. So we're on number, so this is a type 3. So once again, we getting cash. So we're debiting cash and we're crediting account receivable. What's the account number for cash? Still 100, correct?
Yes.
What's the account
Yes.
number for account receivable?
110.
110.
And our amount was how much?
20,000.
20,000. And so you can see, if you don't learn how to make journal entries, it's hard to go any further in accounting. Yet sometimes the text and our professor will sort of gloss over the journal entries, but you can't do the other steps without the journal entries. And a lot of time, person with people can make journal entries, but I found out that that's not always the case. And so I just take the time to do it. Let's go on to number 4. You get a short-term working capital loan, 25,000. What's our type going to be?
Is
Now
that a type 5?
that sounds like a type 5
Borrowed money, yep.
because cash came in, you borrowed money. What you gonna debit? Cash.
Cash.
What you
Cash.
gonna credit? Notes payable.
Notes payable.
Okay, so that's how I teach journal entry, so students hopefully have some sort of frame of reference in terms of when they see it again, they got a frame of reference to go to. Uh, Payable. So for cash, we got our number is 100. What's notes payable?
306.
All right, 306. That's a short-term note. Type 5. And our dollar amount that we borrowed
Oh,
is
I'm
how much?
sorry. It's 307
Is it
for notes
307?
payable. Yes.
Okay. That's a type 5. And what was our amount? How much did we borrow? 25,000, right?
Yes.
Professor,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
isn't notes payable 50?
Is it what?
350. Accrued liabilities is 307.
Let's just make that notes payable. So let's switch it. We don't have many accrued. And this is a short-term note. So the reason that it's 307 is a short term. So just correct it to
Okay.
that. Uh, it doesn't matter, just so you have it as a note payable. Okay, so we've done 4 examples of when cash came in. Now we're going to do 4 where cash is paid out. Okay, so we're doing 4 basically where cash is paid out. So I'm going to do the first one, then you all going to do the next 3. So these are all cash being paid out. So when we get here, we know we're here with the journal entry types. Cash is paid out. So we purchase supplies. So that's a 7. Okay, so the type is 7. But when we make that journal entry, we got to go here and say, okay, supplies is 130. That's what's being purchased. And our amount was $1,000. So we have supplies, which is account 130. and the amount was 1,000. We said our journal entry type was 7. And in this case, we paid out cash. So cash is going to be credited. So whenever we pay out cash, it's credited $1,000. Any questions? Any questions? All right, so y'all got me over talking today. You all go ahead and work 6, 7, and 8. So I'm going to give you all about 10 minutes to work 6, 7, and 8. You're supposed to be able to do a journal entry in 2 minutes. So does everybody see 6, 7, and 8?
Yes.
Okay. So you should be able to go back to the journal entry types and then get your correct account numbers and then make these journal entries for items 6, 7, and 8. So I'm going to give you all 10 minutes to do that. Okay? 10 minutes. Now, it's only supposed to take you 2 minutes per journal entry, but I'm giving you more time.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have a question. So
Yes,
where is this Excel with the
it should be in course content under that financial review.
in the financial review? So I went to the framework. Would it be the
No, no,
cycle?
no. You're going to go into course content.
Okay,
You're in course content. There's going to be an Excel spreadsheet in there.
okay. I think I found
It might be the last thing under
It's
financial
not
review.
opening up for me.
Who said it's not opening up?
Me. It's
I'm
not
not
opening up.
If it's not opening up for you, email me. So if it's not opening up, just email me.
So it opened for me and it's showing me the current entry you're doing, the current page of entries we're on, but the like cheat
Just clear
sheet.
it out. Just, you can just go ahead and
Well,
erase.
it's not that I can't fill it in, it's the cheat sheet above that. Like when you scroll up and we can see what's debited, what's credit, all that.
Okay.
That's what.
So you want, okay, so take your screenshot now. Take your screenshot of the types if you should have it, but just take a screenshot of it. Remember, we're making payments, so we're in here somewhere.
And then can you scroll up so I can see the payments?
Say that again.
Can you scroll up so I can see 1 through 7?
1 through 7. Okay. Now, once again, this should be in Blackboard for you. The journal entry types. So just make hard copies for yourself. Once the session is over going forward, just make you some hard copies of the journal entry types and the chart of accounts.
Yeah, that's just all I couldn't find. I couldn't find any of this information. So the types of accounts and none of this is on the blackboards I've opened on those documents.
Did anybody else see it?
Yes, it's in it's in Blackboard.
Yes,
Right.
course. You got to go to course content and go to
Right.
the tab financial review.
Right. So course content, I'm in financial accounting review, and then there's 5 different documents I can open.
So those documents have what you need.
Oh,
It's not on there.
Say that again.
The chart of accounts and the transaction types aren't on Blackboard under financial review.
They aren't in there anywhere.
No, I can't find them. All I
There,
see.
if you open the accounting cycle, they're in the accounting cycle. They're like on it's page like 3. It started at page 3.
Yeah. So
If you
go.
Oh,
look at
okay.
the Word doc on the accounting cycle, that's where it's at, page 3. It starts
Okay,
at
thank
page
you.
3. You're
Yes,
welcome.
I kind of put them together so it'll be together for you a little bit. Okay. Are we almost ready?
Yeah, I'm done.
Is that Witherspoon says she's done?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So that's the new student. So everybody else should be done. Okay, so paid on accounts payable 5,000. What's my type?
8.
8.
8.
It's gonna be an 8. What are we gonna debit?
Account payable.
Account payables 301. They can see you.
P, crediting cash.
They can see you. They can see you.
What's our amount?
5,000.
5.
5,000.
Okay. Our next one is what?
Transaction type 9.
Paid rent, so it's a transaction type 9. Just cover down there in order for you. So we're gonna debit what?
351.
Rent expense.
Rent expense. And that's number what?
651.
51. Crediting what? Cash.
Cash.
100. And what was our amount?
3,000.
3,000.
3,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what comes next?
And
Payments 10.
19.
And well, but y'all getting smart now, I tell you. What's our account number for dividends?
455.
450.
455.
5.
And we're going to credit what? Cash again?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 What was our amount?
2,000.
2,000.
2,000.
Okay. What about number 9? So take a few minutes and do 9 and 10 now. Do 9 and 10. And those are not cash transactions, so you can't be in 1 through 11. They're not cash transactions.
I have a question. And a type of account be assets purchased or purchased assets?
No, got to give me a number.
No, for like the name of
Say that again. The name? No, it's got to be something with a number by it. We get those last ones done. Purchase supplies on account. What's our type?
12.
12.
That's the 12. What we're going to debit?
supply.
Supplies.
We're going to debit supplies. Our account number?
130.
130.
What we're going to credit?
Accounts payable.
Payable.
So 1. What was the amount?
8,000.
8,000.
And finally, what's this last one?
Type 15.
It's a type 15, so we had a sale on account. So that is a type 15. We have a sale on account. We're going to debit what?
Accounts receivable.
Debiting account receivable. And we're crediting what?
Sales.
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 So account receivable is what? 110.
Yes.
Sales is
Yes.
what? 500.
500.
What's our amount?
30,000.
30,000.
Okay. You'll make journal entries now?
Yes.
Well, everybody can make journal entries now. That's what I like to hear. Let's go to financial planning review problem 4. And what I'm doing is I'm putting you all in teams. So let's have a team leader and a recorder and get your team members down in their contact information. The goal of the team is to get problem 4 done, in time for class on Tuesday. So Sierra, you should be carrying up team 1, Hicks team 2, Natasha team 3, Wallace team 4. Now it's important to get everybody in. Say what?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So I went ahead and turned in problem 4, not knowing that we have to do it in teams. So can I get another submission on that so we can do it together?
But each team, because each team is going to do one submission. I
Okay,
don't want
okay,
a bunch. I just want one per team when I put that in.
okay. So we're all gonna put our names on that one submission.
On that one submission. And if your
Okay,
name's
gotcha.
not on that submission, then you don't get any credit.
Okay,
So team leaders assign everybody journal entries which they post to the ledger and make sure they're doing something.
okay.
So
Could you
this
say the
is
teams
a
again?
FICO. So what?
Could you say the team leaders again?
Team leader for 1 is Sierra, for 2 is Hicks, for 3 is Natasha, and for 4 is Wallace. So I want y'all to go to your breakout session. I'm going to see you into your breakout session. You're going to organize and get this work done. And we're going to work together. We'll go over this problem on Tuesday, but I want to see if y'all can go through the whole process of this. If it takes as long as it will. So let's see if we can head the breakout room.
Am I still on the
Tryon, where are you coming from?
I was having trouble getting in. I'm just coming in late. I had sent you an email. You can ignore it though. How do I know what team I'm supposed to be in?
Well, I'm gonna put you on team one, I guess.
All right.
So let me see if I can have you join team one. Fayeson, where are you coming from?
Hey,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm driving.
All right, I'm gonna put you in breakout room 3.
Okay.
So you'll be on team 3.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Can't hear you. For some reason, I can't hear you. Maybe that's because we're in breakouts and everything. So what I'll do, I'll end the breakout, and then maybe I can hear you, but I can't hear you right now. So let me end the breakouts. They'll be finished in 17 seconds, and maybe we'll be able to communicate. So Natasha, can you speak now?
Caviar is beluga caviar from the Black Sea. Yes. Typically, if you eat caviar, you eat a small portion at a time. It's like a delicacy. And these people.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Natasha, I guess for some reason, I'm not picking you up. So we will be using, teams like so you can see one of the advantages of virtual like this. When I do this on a classroom, uh, and put people in teams, it's too noisy. And so we're able to pull aside like this, and then you can work on your team. So each team will do one submission for Tuesday, and we'll see how far we get and see where you are in terms of being able to go through the entire process, uh, and get the financial statements done and closing interest. Are there any questions?
Yes, you said that the submission is on Tuesday now, not today.
Yeah, it'll be Tuesday. The submission for new students was always on Tuesday anyway. It was only continuing students who had a submission due today. So they got something separate that they worked on. Okay?
Okay, got it.
So the key is to try to get us all, you know, at the same level so we can go into managerial accounting, but managerial assumes that you can do everything we're doing now. And they just put some managerial journal entries in and tell us to do the same thing. So that's why we're reviewing financial, making sure we're where we need to be. Okay?
Excuse me, Dr. Boyd.
Yes.
So I know you just said that continuing students had a submission due today. Was that problem
No,
4?
no, 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 no. No team submission due today.
No. I'm talking about the continuing students. I'm Sierra speaking.
Oh, okay. I'm looking the wrong way. We'll we'll
So,
de- we'll delay that. That will
okay,
be
okay,
delayed too,
okay.
probably until next Thursday, because I want you to concentrate on getting your team members through problem 4, which is simpler, doesn't have a lot of things, a lot of the unique things in it.
Okay, can I send you an email to see what that submission was or what exactly you want us to do
For
for the submission
problem,
that was supposed to be today?
Was that review problem 1?
that was review problem 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't do that one in
Only review
public board,
problem
but
one was due today, and I'm probably going to delay that. So,
okay, well, I'll get that done then.
okay, so what I want to do is to go back to review problem 4, which is a simpler problem, and make sure we can get through 4 for everyone. And then we'll come, and then you all will just submit the other one separately. But if everybody can do 4, which has, I don't think any unique or different journal entries, we should be in good shape. Okay? Any other questions? Okay, well, let's have a good weekend, a productive weekend. Send us in with the names of everybody who worked on it. And
We turn this in Blackboard, or we email you
in
copies.
Blackboard, everything is turned in Blackboard. So this will be a team submission in Blackboard.
So you want us to meet up like outside of class, like right now, and finish it up?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yes.
We're doing all 15, right?
All 15.
Uh,
Is everybody on the team in here now? I guess I'm seeing some folks showing up. King, are you on a team? And Kenyon, are you on a team?
I don't see a team. I don't know where to find it.
King, we'll put you on team 3.
And can you tell me who teams I'm on, Mr. Boyd?
Kenyon will put you on team 2. Gotta be here on time.
I was on the whole time, but it's saying that I wasn't having any audio or anything, so I couldn't
All
hear
right.
you guys. But I was here. Thank you.
Okay, well, good. Here's somebody else down here blanking. I don't know who this is, but anyway,
Professor,
yes,
this is Melanie Mays. I was wondering what was the number group I was in. I forgot the number.
3.
Okay.
So
And will we need to
Sierra's 1, Pursley Hicks 2, Mays Natasha 3, Wallace Jacob 4, with additional
what
people.
about Prince?
Princess in 2. So I will go ahead and put these in Blackboard, okay? If there are any changes, any errors, let me know. But I'll be putting the teams in Blackboard sometime tomorrow.
Okay. And can someone make a group meet for this course? That way we
Y'all
can
don't have a group meet?
You didn't meet on Tuesday.
We kind of met on Tuesday. Get a
We
group
don't.
meet, please.
We have one
Mr. Boyd,
already.
you said I'm in team number 2, right?
Who is this?
Arlesia Kenyon.
Weatherspoon? Yeah, team 2. I'm going
Thank you.
to put the groups, I'm going to type them up, and I'm going to put them in Blackboard. It'll be under the attendance sheet, which is number 2 in course content. So I'm going to put those in.
Okay, and Professor Boyd, I also emailed you to let you know that I can't access none of my documents on Blackboard.
That's Melanie or
No,
Tamara?
that's Tamara.
Tamara, okay. Email me, Tamara.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll send them to you.
Okay.
If anybody else has any problems, just let me know and I'll email them to you.
Did y'all say y'all do have a group meet already? Oh, never mind. I just got the invite.
Yeah, I sent it.
And we will probably start meeting at around 4:15. Okay. So from 4 to 4:15, we'll probably do some office hours and things like that. Does anyone have a conflict with a class after this? We'll check on that.
We
But
wouldn't end
My
When in
principal's
the,
one folks worry me. Townsend, you have a class?
I was saying we would go past 5:15 and
Yeah,
then.
yeah. The idea then that gives me a few
I
minutes
have a
to
5:30 class.
can't do it.
Yeah,
I do as
same. I have
well.
a 5:30.
Wow, y'all got 5:30 classes.
Hello.
Okay.
So 4 to 5:15 is what it's gonna stay.
So what? No, if everybody got the class at 5:30, then we can't. But I had a principal's class and they are kind of worrisome. So I'll just have to cut them off. Now they do have the option of getting on early, so I would probably try to get them to come on 15 minutes early. So they can't, then they just have to know they can't run over. Because I try to be on 10 or 15 minutes early, but when it's back to back like that, it's a problem. Okay. So you all have a wonderful weekend, but a productive one on problem 4. And so we'll hopefully try to clear up any issues and problems next time, getting everybody, where they need to be so that, we can, successfully navigate through the course. And so that's what we're doing now. We're trying to make sure that nobody is behind so that when we get to managerial accounting, everybody can, really work the way they need to do. We'll do a lot of group work and team work. So you're not on your own by yourself, but you got to hold your part of the team work that's required. Team leaders, everybody should be doing work. If they don't do work, then you don't show them on the submission.
And
And
then Jasmine just put the group me link in our chat. I know a lot of people haven't joined. I just wanted everybody.
okay, but eventually, in a couple of weeks, if you're not working with your team, then that team can drop you. Then you're on your own. But you can't just be in a team not doing anything. So everybody's expected to do their appropriate work, whatever is assigned by those leaders, because eventually down the road, the workload increases. Okay, so have a good weekend and success in your 5:30 class.
Last
I'll
thing, Mr.
see.
Boyd, for the people who joined late, you're going to assign them a group, right? And then post those
I
groups on
thought I
Black.
did that. I was doing that. So if they don't, yeah, I'll put it in there. Then they just need to alert me if they're not in a group. So that's what I was doing. Like that, some people came in late. I put them in groups.
Okay.
And once the group comes out, if someone's not in a group, then in the group me, you just tell them to email me that they're not in a group. Got it? Okay. Anything else for the good of the cause? If not, once again, have a wonderful weekend, productive weekend. Don't get too cold, and we will see you all on Tuesday. Have a good one.
Thank you.